Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Hope everyone had a great summer. We're going to get back to normal again. I want to thank you in joining some of us in person and also virtually. Those viewing the meeting on the Hartford Public Access TV.org, channel 96, on Comcast, and Frontier on channel 60, 32. Public comment, which we normally hold the first council meeting of the month, is in accordance with the following procedure. Each person shall give his name, address, and if he or she represents a group, shall in addition to the state the group's name and the address of said organization. Each speaker shall again say their name and the address. All remarks should be aimed at the council members, and absolutely the council members is allowed to ask questions. And if the speaker becomes boisterous, we may have to ask them not to, attend another public comment. So we are starting a little bit late. It's about 10 minutes after 6. So far, I believe we have, I gotta find my sign-up sheet. George, is that one person signed up? Just Bill? Okay, it's just got updated. Okay, great. I just got it updated. Okay. So the first person to speak is going to be Mr. Bill Katz. Good evening, Mr. Katz. Please come on up. You have 3 minutes. Kenny, can you?
I have 3 minutes.
3 minutes? You have time? Yeah.
I have 3 minutes to describe how to save the city. That was posed to me once at an NRZ when I wanted to go around to all the NRZs explaining little things that we could do to benefit Hartford. And the first one I went to gave me 30 seconds, and I walked out and went home. Anyway, I'm here just for the little picky-rooney things that bug me, like fire trucks that are first responders. We send out these humongous, expensive trucks, and we've been doing it for 30 or 40 years to go to every emergency. And there's a major expense in wear and tear on these vehicles. Why not purchase a line of econo cars loaded with emergency equipment to go out on these calls and stop wasting and wearing down our very expensive fire trucks? I don't know. One would like to think that, this would have been done 30 years ago, and it still hasn't been done. That's one. Another is when a car crashes into a utility pole, the previous pole is left hanging and tethering, and there are big splinters, and kids could get injured, and they're left there year after year after year, and it's horrible to see how the city of Hartford treats its neighborhoods, to have these things remaining indefinitely. Get with it. They should be cleaned up. They should be repaired. Lastly, a little picky-rooney thing is fire hydrants. The fire department used to sand and paint fire hydrants. That was sent over to MDC. MDC doesn't really care about upkeep on these things. So in our neighborhoods, they're all rusted, they're ugly, the paint is peeling. But I do note that in downtown Hartford, many of these fire hydrants are freshly painted. So, the business community gets theirs freshly painted. I drove down Hungerford Street, the Mayor's Street, and those hydrants one is a brand new hydrant, the others are fairly freshly painted, and I'm not accusing the mayor of having any influence on it, but it just so happens that all the hydrants on his street are rather newly painted. But when you go into our neighborhoods, they're all rusted and paint peeling, and we pay the taxes here, and we're not being given a fair shake. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. I neglected to let everyone know, all the council members who are here. We have Councilwoman Rosado. We have Councilwoman Kelly Bilodeau. Virtually, we have Councilman Thomas and Assistant Majority Leader T.J. Clark. And of course, I'm Shirley Surgeon, Council President. So, Bill, would it be really helpful? I'm going to take a look at the hydrant in my neighborhood, as a matter of fact. Would it be really helpful if you see these things, you shoot us a little, a little email or a text message to let us know so we could follow up on it? So, but I do have a note about asking, I wonder who does the fire hydrant? Oh, okay. So, yeah, we need to find out who's in charge of making sure the fire hydrants are painted and don't have no rust or anything on it. And we will certainly have somebody get back with you on that. But I'm going to take a look at the one that's about a couple blocks from where I live, just since you now brought it to my attention. Okay, thank you, Bill. And it's not picayune thing. It's just nice to know that we're keeping up with our city and we want to make sure everything looks good. Next up to speak will be Michael Downs. Good evening, Mr. Downs.
My name is Michael Downs. I live at 74 Rosemont Street in Hartford. I'm here tonight to talk about three issues. One is the Department of Recreation. They got a head of the Department of Recreation named Brian Gallagher. That's way over his head in that job. He has no idea what he's doing. He hires non-union workers and calls them union workers. We point out to him that they're not union workers, and he still keeps with his non-union workers and won't hire the union workers. So he's got to stop that. And I'm not going to stop until he's gone, because I think he needs to leave now. I complained about him a year ago when you first approved him as the director. And I said that he was in over his head, he didn't know what he was doing, and I believe that now. And so I think that you need to replace him. I mean, he is not professional. He ambushes workers, union workers, and goes after them with 2 or 3 different people. And that happened to a good friend of mine, and she'll probably tell you about that this evening. Also, where's the agenda?
The agenda? We haven't put that out as yet,
Oh, okay.
but we can get you a copy if you would like.
Yeah, okay. I usually try and speak, when I come up and speak, I speak on something on the agenda.
You should have asked us, Bill. We can, get you, as a matter of fact, if we can get Mr. Downs a copy of the agenda. We normally put copies out on the table.
And the past 2 months, thank you. Past 2 months, I've been up here twice, and there was no meeting. It was virtual. And today, with all these computers and hybrid meetings, people could go, if they're away on vacation or it's too hot or something, just sit home in the air conditioning, fine. Get on, come in by Zoom. And a lot of people all through the year come in by Zoom. I'm sure there are people tonight coming in by Zoom. And but the public should have an opportunity to get up and speak. And I believe that. And so that that is what we have to do. But I'd really like to see the well,
Yeah, we can give you a minute, Michael, for you to take a
okay,
look at the
let me,
agenda.
okay, you're reappointing some people on the Hartford Commission of Cultural Affairs. Well, I guess that's all right. I don't know. I don't know who's on the office on the Committee of Cultural Affairs, but and the street excavations, as a pain they are, they're necessary. So I guess we have to keep that up too. And we have to respect every citizen in this city. So if we're going to raise flags for religion, I guess we could raise flags for sexual orientation. And I think that's all I want to speak on the agenda right now. But I do want to repeat that Brian Gallagher has to go. He has to either resign or be terminated. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's way over his head in that business. He doesn't know how to lead. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up to speak, Shirley Mims. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Mims. I live in Hartford, 93 Sequence Street in Hartford. I'm here to complain, to advise that I've been ambushed by Brian Gallagher, Troy McCoy, and Christine, supposed to be the clock. Recently, I was out because my mother was dying, and so I talked to the former person that was in charge, and he said, okay, Shirley, you know, when you come back, but he's no longer here. So I talked to Troy previously, and I said, okay, my mother was really sick. She had kidneys, and she was in the last stage, and she died. So I told him, I said, well, I want to come back to work. He said, okay, but we don't have any hours right now, but in the summer we probably will have it. So I said, okay. So the summer came, and he said, oh, we don't have no hours for you. And I said, how come you don't have no hours for me when you just told me that it was okay, we have a lot of stuff going on in the summer and a lot of stuff's going to be available? To my understanding, when I called him, I checked with him through all the year because I was going to go back anyway. So I was saying, is it time? I mean, I put her in a convalescent home for a last stage of death because that's too much. I couldn't take that. So I had been out, and I did work last year in the Community Day, Bellevue Square Community Day. And this year I worked Bellevue Square Community Day, but with volunteer because he said they wasn't staffing it. But then a staff member, Robert Jones, and I think O.J. Winch was there too. So I'm like, if they're not staffing them, I work volunteer. My thing is, they call me on the phone after I repeatedly asked them, I got any hours. I heard this one said this one, that one said that one. So they called me on the phone. Troy called me, and then he said, hold on. I said, what you mean? I thought, he said, I got Brian on the phone, and I have Christine on the phone. So I said, oh, I thought I was going to get some hours. They antagonized me. He was saying blah, blah. They accused me of a lot of stuff. And I told them, I said, you know what, I don't mean to be loud right now. I said, but I've been talking to you guys for 3 months now. I've been putting in complaints, talking to my union rep, and I have no employment, and I need to be employed because I need money. I own a house and everything. So they got me on the phone, and finally, on a three-way conversation, and I had to explain to him, to Gallagher, I said, I talked to Troy several times, and he said that he was gonna, it's gonna be space available, so don't worry about it, I got you. That's what he said. And then I talked to Christina, and she said, we was talking, and she said, well, if anybody wanna work with you, I said, where did you get that from? I said, you know what I'm saying? She said, well, if we have some hours, I'll give it to you. I've been working for Park and Rec for 30 years. I've done coaching. I even run a summer program by myself. And for them to get in and say, well, then after the conversation, we got in a three-way conversation, and I was like, I had no representation. They was all on the phone, And he said, I didn't say this, you didn't say that, and that, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, you know what? Then Gallagher said, we had some hours available in the summertime, and it was nights. I said, oh. And I said, well, Troy never told me. He said, Troy told me that I wasn't fit enough. That I wasn't fit. And that when I said, how you mean I'm not fit? I've been here 30 years. I've run championship. I got 3 championships under my belt. I've done double dutch. I've assisted in all these programs and implement the program, especially for summers. So at that point, he said, well, if you're going to talk like that, then I don't know if you're going to get hours. I said, excuse me, I'm trying to explain myself. I'm not trying to get loud with you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I need to have my point across. Because these people saying one thing, and when they got on the phone, they say they didn't say it. And that was my concern. Now I don't have a job. I don't have hours. And I called him, and he said, well, we don't have nothing available. Then I found out that the staff that they hired, a manager, we already got a JR down there. JR, Recreation Assistant Monty Jones. So I said, what about down there? Oh, we already set. Come to find out, this young lady that they hired, I'm quite sure she's not in the union too. She works 1 day there, and then she's over 4 days at Parker Center. So I said, well, why he said she was set all week? So this is my concern. I have all these people over me, and I'm fighting for my job because I'm 67 years old, and it's hard to get a job out here. You know, and my thing is that how do you exclude me and from even when they had meetings and stuff, they didn't even include me. I talked to my friend. He said, well, we had a meeting with Gallagher. I said, well, I was unaware of that. So Gallagher, I guess they made their decision, and then they said, and I said, well, I want to make a grievance. And I was told that the grievance, that I couldn't make a grievance because I was a part-timer.
So you're not a union member?
I am a union member.
So, okay.
I've been a union member for 30 years. They take that on my check.
Okay. So have you called your union representative?
Yes, I've talked to them. They said they was on the ball and they were trying to get the information in regards to who was in the union, who wasn't in the unions.
Yeah.
And as my concern, they was giving 50 hours, 40 hours to people now, and my 20, all I was getting was 20-something hours, and I was satisfied with that. But I think I was judged unclearly, and I was accused of a lot of stuff, and my union rep had to let them, tell them,
Yeah.
you have to show me papers, and they couldn't show papers. So it's one thing from the next.
Yeah.
So I'm here because I do need my job, and I think Brian doesn't do the program all this summer. We usually have camps, 3 camps or 2 camps. We had no camps. We had no kids. The kids look for that food in the summertime for the lunches. This been going on for years. We didn't get in. Nobody was even assigned outside. Like, you know, normally when the kids go into the park, they have something to do, or they have some like recreation there to do recreation stuff with them and also provide lunches for them. We had no lunches, we had nothing, and then when I asked them, I said, well, why we can't, we have, you know, Bellevue Square Community Day been going on for 20-some years. Yeah, it was Harambe and Bellevue Square Community Day.
Okay.
I was told that he said, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with us. I said, well, how you mean ain't got nothing to do with us? That's the community. That's been here for years. And my thing, if he's gonna say something that, we have no program, we have nothing coming in, we only have 1 summer camp, we had no lunches for the kids, we have nobody that we can really talk to, and Brian is always busy, and like I said, I was ambushed on the phone, I had no representation, it was a surprise to me.
Okay.
I hadn't heard anything else other than that, and I'm clear to state that myself, because I am, I think I'm a victim of that. You know, hey, I've been working 30 years, and all of a sudden you can't get back with me, and all of a sudden you tell me I'm not fit, and I done done all these programs, I done been here all these years and implement the program. So I have a problem with that, and with all this stuff going on, for them to be, some are union workers, some are not, and basically a lot of them is not union workers, and I'm like, how do they work before me? They can do whatever they want to do.
All right, Ms. Mims, thank you so very much for sharing your, that information with us. Next person up to speak will be Raquel Calderon.
Good evening, board
Good evening.
members. Raquel Calderon. I'm coming here in my, to address the issue of hit and run. There's just too many of them every single day. And since there's not enough public here, I'll probably come back another day to elaborate more. But I'd like to see what can the board of directors do about this. This is just getting too much. People are, you know, there's too many victims. Right now, I handle 5 different cases for people that are coming, calling me, sending me the pictures, and some of them, you know, they say that the police is not doing anything about it. The other issue is that I came here today because I share a common frustration, a common disappointed, and a common fury, hearing the news about public staff that are representing us, that we brought them in for a reason, to protect us, to be honest, and we're here on bad news. But I wanted to elaborate this the next time, since we don't have enough public. I am really infuriated. I do not understand why do we have to hear that in public. The newspaper, people are talking about it, calling me. And you know, they should be, they should on themselves think about their reputation. If it is true, they should do something about it. I don't think they, in my conscience, I would quit the job if I'm doing something against the public. You know, our democracy is really getting a step down. So the next time I'm going to elaborate more. That's why I came here. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Councilman Mitchum. Don't believe we have anyone else signed up to speak tonight. Miss? No, we're good? Okay. Well, since we have no one else signed up to speak, I'm going to call this public comment to close and then get ready for a 7 o'clock council meeting. Thank you.